Right. So what we discussed in the previous session, I told you about the entity part, and followed by in this entity we discussed even about the extensions like entities as well as the kind of type list understanding, right? So I think I have given the case study to you, right? So just open the case study, right? So do you have the case study with you?
Yes, sir.
So just open the case study. Open case study where we were discussing all the case study part. I've given the case study, right? So I think it was here, right? So yeah. So this is the case study we have taken. I think just confirm whether is this or not. Right. So this is the requirement we have taken. Okay. This was the case study we have taken, requirement. The requirement as follows, because when you go for an interview, so whenever we are projecting our experience as a guideware developer, either from the configuration front especially, uh, they may ask you scenarios or we have to explain, right? What was the recent scenarios that we have come across, all that. So in that regard, so I have given this requirement. I think this is the one I have given, right? Is this one?
Yes, sir. This only.
Right. Okay. So this is the requirement. Where in this requirement we want to add a custom Boolean fields for high risk policy to the policy. Okay. Showing it on the policy summary screen at the same time use it in the rule. Rule that we are referring here, it is nothing but an underwriting rule. Okay. So when high risk policy come into picture, for example, any policy submission has taken place. So when high risk policy will come into existence? What is meant by high risk policy and when high risk policy will come into picture? When high risk policy will come into picture, when there is any given scenario, again I am repeating, if you are a developer, when we are working on the configuration front, consider ourselves that we are working for some commercial auto, okay, commercial auto policy, where system has to detect the policy submission that we have mentioned is considered as a high risk policy. On what grounds high risk policy will be decided? What are the grounds? What are the grounds high risk policy system has to be detected automatically? Anyone? Any one of you? I think Vishal has joined even, right? Yeah. Can you tell me on what basis high risk policy will be decided?
Based on the vehicle age
Based on the vehicle age,
and
right? Vehicle based on the vehicle age. Age of the vehicle, it could be one reason behind. Okay. Second.
and driver challan.
Second about the driver experience. Okay. Driver work experience,
Yeah.
right? So driver details, etc. Right. So all that stuff will be there. Now, if you want to update these, what is required? So first of all, you have to make some necessary configurations in the data model. Okay, data model, under the data model extension, we have to make the necessary changes. So if you want to make necessary changes in the data model, what is required? So you want to update a kind of entity, something relating to high risk policy first, right? Right. So first of all, we need to add high risk policy to the existing one. Followed by this necessary changes you have to make in the UI configuration. Okay. So first of all, high risk policy is the one, right? So wherein we have entities over here, wherein you can see we have all the entities, whatever the extensions do we found. Okay, we have found all the extensions over here. Now, is there any kind of high risk policy related stuff was updated in the entities or not, that we need to see? Because if it was there already, we can take, right? So you can consider it as high, right? So wherein we don't find any extension for ETX files, you don't find any kind of high risk policy as such. Now, what we can do, we can create a new entity, okay? Because if there is any entity already there, again, I'm not going to the basics. It's already we have an entity where we can create the extension. But as in when we don't see any kind of extension where we are creating a high risk, okay? Okay, high risk policy is an entity that we wants to be updated. Okay, as in high risk policy, we want to be updated. So when we are creating a high risk policy, yeah, this is where generally the high risk policy came into picture. Now, on what grounds these entities we have to update? Okay, that is something that we need to know, right? So we entities in high risk policy, right? So at the same time, table can be an high risk policy, right? So type we have selected. So on what basis high risk policy will be decided? What are the basis for that? What are the conditions that are to be applied? What are the conditions that are to be applied? What conditions are required for a high risk policy?
About vehicle age first.
Vehicle
Age.
Vehicle age is a name that we have selected. Okay, next, what can be the error type? For account role, is it something that we are selecting for the account? First of all, we need to select these. Okay, these whatever the arrays do we have, etc., that we have to select. Is it extract building? Is it an account? Is it an account contact? Or is it an account holder? So these details we have to be updated. So which details are relevant for the vehicle age? Because this is an account for a particular customer that we are creating. Okay. Now, which array entity should be taken into account consideration? Vishal, yourself. Are you there?
Yeah, sir.
Tell me, like, which entity should be do you want us to take? This is for the vehicle age. Is it anything relating to the account? Is it related? Account contact or account role? Is it related for that? No. Okay. Next. Which of an array entity has to be taken here? Account holder? No. Next, account summary? No. Activities or activity pattern? No. Next, address book? No. Affinity groups? No. Agency bill plans? No, we related here. What are needed?
Is there any field related to it?
Sorry?
Is there any entity field related to age?
These are relating to the driver's age, right? So driver age is something that we need to select. Okay. Okay. Driver is something as an entity I am selecting. Okay. Driver as an entity I am selecting over here because driver's age is something that we need to be updated in this regard. Okay. Next, what can be the other details we need to know? It's not only about the driver's age. What should be there? What should be taken? Vehicle age. At the same time, driver details has to be updated. Next, what else are needed? Is there any other additional column that is to be added to this existing one? What else is the column? Vehicle details. Okay, what type of vehicle, all that. Okay, that we need to know, right? So what type of vehicle is something that we need to mention here. So versions, weeklies, and all, right? So type we are not selecting. Type list I am selecting. Type list key. Okay, type list key I am selecting. Is there any true or false? No, true or false I am not selecting here. Type list key. Why I have selected type list key? what reason behind selecting the type list key here? What is the reason why I am selecting type list key here? Type list
There can be
here,
various vehicles.
various model vehicles will be updated. Yes or no? Right? So we
Yeah.
have different
Yeah.
model of vehicles will be there. So depends on the model of vehicle, whatever has taken based on that. So what we need to do, there are some type list where we have to be updated. Under the type list, we can add all the details. Okay, so these are first of all as a high risk policy as an ETI file, wherein we have selected which is part of entity that we have to be updated. Now you want to update the type list. Okay, type list, you need to select the vehicle details. So just see if there is any vehicle details were already there. Okay. Vehicle type we have. Okay. Vehicle type dot ttx we have. At the same time, vendor type we have. I am selecting vehicle type dot etx. These are the things. Auto, other, okay, PP, commercial, okay, public transport, special, auto, other we have selected. Now I am going to select one more category. Uh, hmm. These are the categories we have selected. Type code is commercial, is taken. Under the commercial, trucks, tractors, trailers, everything were coming to picture. Commercial description, non-passenger. At the same time, we have taken passenger vehicles also. Passenger vehicles means personal auto. Okay, passenger vehicles means whatever the vehicles that we are transporting people. Okay, public from one destination to another destination, all that. Next, public transport, which has livery vehicles, and special we have taken. At the same time, auto passenger vehicles, and other we have added. Right, so I'm adding one more category under the personal auto line. Okay, personal auto line is one more. Personal commercial, because some vehicles where depends on the combination, right? So personal or commercial, we have mentioned, right? What type of type list is this? Type list, we need to select that category. Personal commercial we have taken. Vehicle type, I am adding personal. Personal type, no. Personal auto. We are selecting the billing levels, language around that. Automatic sync. Okay, auto sync we are taken, right? So different because it's combination of personal as well as commercial, because there are some conditions where we'll be taking into an account where we have to be updated multiple elements. What are multiple elements? Sometimes personal auto we have taken where that vehicle can be used even for personal purpose, at the same time commercial, not a heavy vehicle. Okay, it is not considered as a heavy vehicle. So what kind of vehicle it can be? Sometimes we are it's like a cab kind of, okay, cab kind of, like wherein we are collecting the employees to the workplace, right? So we're in pick and drop kind of way. So for that, there can be a possibility where personal commercial kind of product which the vehicle type which customer wants to update. Okay, that can be the one, right? That can be the one we have taken. Now, if this is relating to the auto sync, where if you want to sync this to the existing auto, we can do that. Or else, if you want to update it as a separate line of service. We don't have the line of services. I can take what are all we have taken here, right? So passenger light vehicle we have taken. Passenger light vehicle we have already, policy lines we have. Every vehicle, passenger vehicles we have, truck and trailers we have. Let me take any SUVs you are finding. I will take some sedan vehicles. So sedan vehicles I'm taking. Okay, these are because the name of the vehicle type can be sedan. It can be of any model. So we are going to add a high risk policy details where we need to be updated. At the same time, under the type list, you may be required some other additional something like commercial auto, etc. Everything has to be updated in this regard. So when there is any requirement that we want to be updated, especially for high risk policy, considering considering the auto insurance as an example that we have taken, first of all, we need to update the data model configuration. Under the data model configuration, we need to update the entity extensions. Under the entity extensions, if there is any extension file which is relating to the high risk policy is there in that regard, so can be taken. Or as high risk policy as an ETI file has to be created first. At the same time, we need to update what are the different vehicles we have, followed by the vehicle types do we have, etc. Everything we have to be mentioned in that. So in that regard, what is needed? So we need to update different vehicle details, etc. Everything we have to be updated in that because commercial, it can be a commercial vehicle, it can be a trucks, trailers, etc. Everything were there. At the same time, even passenger vehicles will also be there. Personal vehicles only for passenger transportation purpose that is being used, not for the personal usage. And public transport vehicles, livery vehicles we have. At the same time, we have some special conditions also. I'm not considering that we don't require any special conditions. Okay, I'm not taking public transport. We have taken passenger vehicles were taken even here. At the same time, type code passenger light vehicles we have taken. And the type code we have mentioned about the other type code not needed. I'm removing. Okay, auto insurance we have taken, right? So here. These are the vehicle types vehicle type.ttx files we are updating in the high risk policy. Under the high risk policy, we have to update both the ones, right? So both the ones we can update. That's how we need to update in the existing vehicle type. Depends on the kind of vehicle types what we have updated. So we need to mention. So first of all, data model configuration where we need to update all the data model configurations, including entity extensions, everything has to be mentioned in the application. Second, about the page configuration files. Page configuration files based upon the kind of data because that's where we can see. For example, we have these page configuration files. Yeah, these are the page configuration files you will be having for multiple things. Either it can be for vehicle or it can be for transportation purpose. Whatever the vehicles we have, etc., we need to select. So that what I'm doing is PCF files we required. Yeah. Store.pcf files we have. These are the different PCF files you will be having. We need to update the relating to the vehicle part. This is where the vehicle screen. These are the vehicle DVs. These are detailed views. We can see. These are the vehicle detail views they have. We have generally two things you can write down. One is about LVs and second is LVPCF and second is DVPCF. Right. When we are updating, please make a note. When we are updating page configuration files, when we are updating page configuration files, page configuration files, The files can be LV or DV. The files can be LV or DV. Okay. LV or DV PCF files. LV or DV PCF files. Okay.
Okay,
LV stands for list view. LV stands for
another one is detail view.
Detail view. LV stands for list view. Another is called as detail view.
Already you have told this one, sir.
Right.
Definition.
Right. So LV files and as well as detail view files we have. Okay. Now vehicle screen where let me just open up. This is where the vehicle screen was, right? So this is a vehicle screen where you will be finding all the vehicle details, whatever the vehicle details we have, followed by what are the required coverages are we having, etc., including any additional coverages. Everything this is to be updated. Please make a note. As far as the page configuration files are concerned, as far as the page configuration files are concerned, when we want to update the vehicle details, when we want to update the vehicle details, under the detail view files, under the detail view files, we must update the type of vehicles. We must update the type of vehicles, including vehicle number, vehicle type, including vehicle number, vehicle type, followed by vehicle identification number, including vehicle models, Hence, whenever we update the model details, label that must be identified, under the model details, and what label you have used when you are updating the vehicle model details, right? So this is a question you come across. What should be your answer, right? That's how it is. Means which label you have used. Okay, and people can ask, like, because you cannot open the application, right? So vehicle label such as, you can write on this. You can write display.key.get. Here we have to update the label details. Existing label, okay, not the new one. Existing label ID. Where can you find the vehicle model? Okay, where can you find because vehicle model we have taken. In this vehicle model, where the label will be updated, this is the vehicle label details will be updated. Display.key.get web.policyline.vehicle.model. Okay, here we have to update the label details. For the existing models, continuation, for the existing models, which includes the value of the vehicle as well. The value of the vehicle as well. Okay. Below, you can write down the note. Note. High risk vehicles, identification, high risk vehicles identification is not only high risk vehicles is not only identified based on the vehicle age, and it is also based on the cost of the vehicle, because high risk vehicles, cost of the vehicle will also be taken into consideration. Sometimes vehicle cost in Indian rupees, I can say more than 80 lakh or 1 crore vehicle. So these 1 crore vehicles or 80 lakhs or 1 crore or more than like 1 crore vehicles are considered as high risk vehicles, because it's not only about the driver's age, because it's not only about the vehicle age, means when the vehicle is manufactured, like how old the vehicle was. It's not only the case. It's not only about the geographical location, where and how long, how frequent the vehicle travel. Okay, it's not only that. But apart from these two, high risk vehicle will be identified based on the price of the vehicle. Sometimes like 80 lakh or 1 crore, more than that 1 crore vehicle will be there. So more than 1 crore and all, automatically it is considered as a high risk vehicle. So based upon the model, based upon the cost of the vehicle, will be considered. Why high risk? Because there is a possibility, if there is any kind of collision happen, there are possibilities like spare parts cost will be higher. Sometimes those costs may not be available. So two conditions. One, age of the vehicle is higher. Sometimes some vehicle production has stopped. Okay, so that you don't get the parts, right? So you don't get the spare parts for that. That could be one difficulty for the age of the vehicle, right? That is one. Second, sometimes high risk vehicles which are higher, more than 1 crore also, spare parts availability could be the difficulty, right? So we may not getting the spare parts, right? So we don't get the spare parts on time, because within no time, not even expensive also. So when we want to provide a policy to these kind of vehicles, always high risk vehicle, when you consider as a given condition, as I told you, if it is more than 1 crore vehicles, always. So insurance, whatever the quotation that we have to provide or the rate that we have to calculate, should be at the higher level always. So then only we can meet at least. This is one condition. Sometimes there is a possibility, commercial vehicle we have given, it has collided with, it is collided with some accident where 3 vehicles got damaged. Okay, 3 vehicles, because of this collision, other 3 vehicles, third party, other 3 vehicles got damaged. In the 3 vehicles, 3 vehicles were damaged. In 2 vehicles, there is a bodily injury has taken place. Apart from that, there were some pedestrians. Pedestrians means who is walking around. So they were even injured because of that. So these has to be understood whenever we are considering the high risk vehicles also, because of the type of model of the vehicle. If it was the model of the vehicle were damaged, because based upon the model of the vehicle, damages will also be more severe. So these are the basic aspects we need to consider when we try to understand about the high risk policy, especially from the vehicles point of view. I'm talking about the commercial vehicles, something like trucks or something, which are huge in size. If there is any collision happen, automatically even a minor collision will also be a major damage. Just now I have told you, right? So it can hit with 2 or 3 more vehicles. So those can be the possible risks which are involved. So this part of PSC that we'll discuss in the next session. Understood? Got it?